Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me in another of my wonderful interviews. I've been a big advocate for independent companies. We've been so used to going to the supermarkets and just using them as one-stop shop for everything. And as you know, a lot of the food that you buy there is highly processed. Even the vegetables are they don't have as many minerals and vitamins that they ought to have in them. They're stored in fridges. They come out almost when they're pretty much at the end of their life, and you never know really what their provenance is and whether they're from this country or wherever they've been. So, and we're in a situation now where we're all beginning to become a little bit more conscious about where our products come from, where they're made, how they're made, whether they're environmental, and all those sort of things. So today I want to talk to a chap who has an independent company. He's been running it for some time. He's sent me some of his lovely products. Actually, I paid for some of them, but he added some extras, which was very kind of him. And we're going to talk about some of these products and why it's important, particularly in this day and age, to source our stuff rather than from the big brands all the time, who may not, of course, have our interests at heart. So I'd like to welcome to the show Socrates. Hello, Socrates.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for coming on. Firstly, can't go without noticing a very interesting name. It's Socrates. Where does that come? Is that your birth name, or is that just a
Yeah,
nickname that you've adopted?
no, it's my grandfather. I'm Greek Greek origin. My grandfather was called Socrates,
Oh, right.
and yeah, he just called me after my grandfather's name. So
Oh, how brilliant. Oh, well,
thank you.
it's a
Thanks a
lovely
lot.
name. It's lovely to have the wisdom of Socrates on the
Uh,
show.
it's a hard
Um,
reputation to live up to, unfortunately.
well, you have the same haircut as me, so it can't be too bad,
Yeah, that's right.
which is fantastic. Now, you have sent me some of your products, and obviously we're going to talk about your products, but I want to sort of not just make this into completely a big advertisement for you. You'll understand that. Although, of course, people may be interested and want to order some stuff, and I thank you for sending the stuff to me.
My
But
pleasure.
you're an independent company. How long have you been running?
Since 2009 now, so it's about 14 years. Yeah, it's purely
And
by accident.
what is the market like at the moment for independent companies?
We've suffered a lot, to be honest, since well, COVID, cost of living crisis, the war in Ukraine. We've suffered a lot, but we're hanging on in there. We've got a large base of regular customers, but as you'll understand in a moment when I explain the products do last a long time. So we need a very large customer base in order to keep going because the washing detergent, which you have there, the soap nuts, they'll give you that. I think that size there you have is 400. Is it 200? Is that the
It's
200?
240 washes,
Yeah.
500 grams. Here we go.
So,
We'll
yeah.
we'll
So,
we'll show the
yeah.
products and stuff in a second. So, I mean, this is interesting because I mean, a lot of big businesses sort of build in obsolescence so that you have repeats as often as possible. I mean, and toothpaste or something always comes in small tubes and costs a lot,
Yeah.
and you're going to get through it. But if you've got good products, they do last. So you need many customers rather than fewer that
Yeah.
are buying constantly, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we sell to shops as well, so that helps. Small
Yes.
organic health food stores. However, what's kept us going during, especially through COVID, when a lot of the shops closed and the footfall fell, was our direct customers, the online customers, and thankfully, we have enough of them to allow us to keep going. However, as you saw there, you've got the medium-sized bag there, which gives you 240 washes. The more popular bag is the kilo bag, which gives double that. So you're talking like if you are the average family washing 4 wash loads a week, your bag there will last a whole year. So you can understand the average purchase lasts 2 years, which
Yes.
is why we we do need a large customer base to keep going.
Absolutely. Well, we'll definitely get onto the products and stuff because that's going to be interesting. But I think people will be quite surprised, as I am quite shocked, because it's not. If you're getting a year's supply out of a small bag like this, instead of having to buy copious amounts of boxes of detergent that you would normally buy, you're actually making a huge saving.
That's right. Yeah.
which is something that people, when they go into supermarkets and they constantly buy from one source and do not know that there are alternatives, would have no idea actually that there is a different way, and they don't need to keep spending on, for example, washing clothes. I'm
Yeah.
interested, before we get onto all of that, the climate, because it seems to me that independent companies, small businesses like yourself, are being pushed aside, and life is being made more difficult. Do you have premises
Um,
that,
not proper premises. I work from the
not
garage.
like public,
Yeah. I work
yeah,
from
not
the garage.
public, not sort of customer premises?
No. I sell
No.
directly to shops, as I say, but we don't have customers coming to our door. No.
Right, so mainly online,
Yeah, mainly on.
is the thing. So, because to have premises, of course, and
I
you
would.
see in the high street, I mean,
I wouldn't make a
the
profit, Richard. If I had premises, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to continue this because I'd have to
no,
put my costs up. I'd lose a lot of customers who then just go on to buy their products from supermarkets,
right.
which is a lot easier for them, I guess, more convenient. But yeah, if I had premises, I couldn't sustain what we do.
No. I mean, I completely get that, and
Yeah,
I mean, I'm so trying to support independent companies and trying to source stuff instead of having to go into the supermarkets, because I would rather give you my money for your products than to give it to big supermarkets, which
yeah,
you don't know where the money goes. I try to put it into the local community, or at least into this country, and very often, this ends up in the big pockets of big corporations, and it's never seen again.
yeah,
And I think in this day and age at the moment, we want to see more smaller, independent, family-run businesses thriving rather than under the thumb.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you, Richard. I'm the same.
Because you're obviously passionate about your business, but you're passionate about your customers, because your customers
Definitely,
are your livelihood. And when you
definitely.
go into the supermarkets, of course, it's almost, you just feel like because they've got such a monopoly on the market, that you no longer matter. They assume you're going to come in, and they can treat
Yeah,
you by not having staff, by photographing you, biometrics. We've heard all of these things.
yeah, yeah.
And of course, if you presumably, if you supply something and somebody's not happy, you're going to try and put it right for them as much as you
Definitely.
can.
Yeah, definitely. And if the order is late, I'll throw in and it's our fault, I'll throw in a free gift or,
Yeah.
I can't emphasize how important the customers are. They are, like you said, the lifeblood. And that's why we keep going, to keep our customers happy, and making them happy makes me happy. So it really is important. It's personal. It is personal. I want to make sure that every single customer is happy. And I am upset if they're not happy. And I want to make it right always.
And and
It's
and
idealistic, but it's the truth. It
yeah,
is.
no, I absolutely. I mean, the thing is, you can say it, and it sounds absolutely genuine, as I'm sure it is. If you've got some smarmy supermarket
Yeah,
boss saying that, it can never be true, because they too many
yeah,
customers. You're just a number, and even though they may think, they may push over their corporate message and say, oh yes, every customer we want to put right. That's not true, because people stand in these very long queues. Sometimes
yeah,
you're forced into things you don't want. You've bought this, you can't, we'll change it. You don't get the same feel
yeah,
as smaller independent company.
yeah,
I personally feel, and it just seems that small businesses are being pushed aside for a bigger agenda. So that's
yeah.
why I'm very keen to sort of talk to you, because you are an independent. So let's have a look at what you've sent, because I originally wanted to buy an alternative to things like washing powder. You've
Yep.
been talking about food recently, and of course there's a lot of initiatives to find organic food, more healthier food than supermarkets. But if you're going to boycott, or you don't want to buy from the big brands, there's so many other things in the supermarkets, like detergent that you use all the time, and soap and shampoo and all those sort of things. And I was very keen to find something, and found you, and you've got a whole load of things. So, and you sent me a lovely range. Now, what I'm going to do is, I've got a little webcam here, which I hope will work, so that I can show everybody what you've got. So, and then we can talk about each different product. So let me. Where is the webcam? I have to go back over here for a minute. And now for some reason it's not on. I don't know why that is.
I can't help you there.
No, it's always typical. I'll just have to hold it up to the main camera. It doesn't matter. So, but let's start with these then. These are your soap nut shells.
That's
from
right.
your company, Living Naturally.
Yep.
So these are real nuts, aren't they?
Technically speaking, they're not nuts, although they're called soap nuts. They're soap berries, so they are a fruit. I don't know if you can see this. This is a lychee fruit. Let me use the camera there. You see the lychee fruit? Where is it? Can you see that?
Yeah.
You know the lychee, yeah? So the lychee is a relative of the soap nut, if you like. It's a distant cousin. They grow in similar parts of the world, so places like India, Nepal, China. And they've been using them in India for hundreds of years to clean their skin, their hair, and their clothes. So we didn't invent a use for them. They were and have been used for hundreds, if not thousands, of years in India. So yeah, that's the shell of the soap nut, the soap berry. That's the shell. The stone has been removed, so you've just got the shells there. They're dried in the sun, and that shell, the soap nut shell, when it's agitated in water in the washing machine, it releases a natural soap called saponin. And this, in fact, let me show you. Hopefully you can see this is a bottle with 1.5 shells, a bottle of water, or half a bottle of water.
Bring it more towards your face. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, 1.5 shells in there with a little bit of water. And just to show you a little bit of agitation, obviously you won't see this much soap in the washing machine because the washing machine has your clothes in there. But in water, with a little bit of agitation, you can see that
it's frothing up.
Yeah, it's full of soap now. So that soap is the saponin, which is released from the shells, and that's a natural soap. And that soap is what cleans your clothes. But not only does it clean the clothes, it's a natural water softener as well. So it softens your clothes, which is why, as I said earlier, in India they've been using it not only to wash their clothes but also to wash their hair. Ayurvedic, Ayurvedic medicine in particular, they've been using it for skin treatments, but also it washes and conditions the hair. You and I would have no problem.
With that. It'd be nice to have a bit of just clean hair, but unfortunately, it's filthy.
It's not a new invention by us. It's been used for 100 years, when I discovered it, it's a kind of long story with regards to my son. My son's autistic, and we were looking ourselves for alternatives to reduce the amount of chemicals going into his system when he was about 2 years old when we got the diagnosis. And I stumbled across that, and we shipped some over from India and started selling it on eBay, and it just grew from there really. But I'd done a little bit of research initially, or quite a lot of research initially, and realized that it was used traditionally in India in villages and what have you. And I went over to India myself, and they had big customers in Germany and in America. It was quite a popular product, but no one was really doing it in the UK until 2009 when I brought it over.
Gosh. So, and it's interesting. I mean, just remind us again about how many. So, a bag like this, it says here 240 washes.
Yeah, because so each wash load. Just to explain, Richard. So excuse me a second. Right. So inside that bag, you'll have a little muslin wash bag. Can you just? Oh, you got that there, right? So what you do, you take 5 of those shells, or 10 half shells, or a little small handful. Yeah. You put that in the bag. You tie a knot in the bag.
Doing it here.
Yeah.
Tie a knot in the bag with the little drawstrings, which I'm just finding.
Yeah. We've got little zip bags here as well. You obviously got the straws. Right. So you put that in the washing machine drum. Okay. So.
Right. So it's like a tea bag, effectively, isn't it? It's just like a little tea bag. Shove it in the drum.
Put it in the drum itself with the clothes.
Yes.
And, as I say, as the water circulates in the machine, it agitates the soap nuts. That soap is released naturally with the water, and that washes your clothes. And as I say, it also softens your clothes, so you won't need to add a conditioner. You won't obviously need to add a washing detergent, because that is a washing detergent. It leaves your clothes clean, smelling fresh, soft, and it's completely natural. It is a fruit. Even those people, with nut allergies, nothing to worry about. As I say, it's a fruit, so it doesn't affect nut allergy sufferers. Hypoallergenic, kind to the skin, kind to the environment.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
no chemicals. Yeah.
I had to go and buy non-bio detergent. That's what I
Okay.
normally buy because
Yeah.
I get a bit itchy if I have the bio, the
Yeah.
whatever it's called, the bio one,
Yeah. Yeah.
bio, bio. I can't even think what it's called now. Bio something or other, biological. That's the word. Um,
Yeah.
when you start recording, your brain goes dead. It's like I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
remember who I am. Um, so this is non-chemical. That's what I
That's
love
right.
about this. It's
Yeah.
non-chemical, and so you can buy one of these, and as you say, and the big wash does whatever you said it was. That's the big bag rather,
Yeah.
the popular one.
480 watches. 480 watches for the kilo. But the five that you put in the bag
Yes.
for the first wash, you would reuse for a further two or three wash loads,
Oh, would
which is why
you?
you're getting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But also those shells. So instead of putting them in, there's two ways of washing your clothes. One way is to put them in the bag in the washing machine drum. The other way is to maybe double the amount you just took out for the bag. So maybe about 10 shells. Um, Put them in a saucepan. Put 2 liters of water. This is how I do it. It just works out a lot cheaper. And you make your own version. So your own, sorry, liquid version. So you'd boil about 10 shells, 15 shells for about 10 minutes. Let it simmer for about 10 minutes. When that water cools down, obviously put that water into a plastic water bottle, whatever. Keep it in your fridge. It will keep about 8, 9, 10 weeks. And every time you've got wash load to do, you can put 1 cupful into your washer drawer this time, and you can wash your clothes that way as well. But the beauty of that soap nut liquid is that you can put it into one of those spray dispense bottles if you've got an
Oh,
empty one of
right.
that.
Yeah.
Add your own little essential oil, like I don't know, tea tree oil, lemon essential oil, and you can clean your kitchen surfaces, your bathroom, your windows, your kitchen
I
toilet.
love that. I love that because you're taking back control,
Yeah,
and
yeah. So it's highly versatile.
it's you're using a very natural product. You're not dependent. I mean, this is one of the things that I think that in my journey of awakening, if you call it, on so many different levels, it's that thing about taking back control of our lives
Yeah,
and using. We're not beholden as we have been to these big companies, these big corporations who've made everything very convenient, but it may not be healthy.
yeah, and
Whereas,
also very expensive because
at,
one product to do your washing, one product to soften your clothes, one product to clean your kitchen, one product to clean your toilet, your bathroom, your kitchen cabinets, your windows. But this does it all in a
yeah,
non-toxic,
yeah.
uh, cheap. I think it works out to something like maybe 3 pence, 4 pence a wash load. So it's ridiculously cheap. And I say one product will, you'll empty out your cleaning cupboard. You'll just have your soap nuts, or one product in your kitchen cleaning cabinet, and away you go.
So that you say, yeah, so you're saving money and you're in control and you're helping an independent company to do all that. I can see now, of course, it's not, it's a business that you need
Yeah,
to lots of customers
yeah, yeah,
because you're
exactly.
basically offering an amazing solution that people can go, oh, I need to buy one product instead of 10.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, I had a lady, was it no Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. She called to order her. I think it was her third order, but it was a third order in 6 years.
My goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
because she's not internet savvy, so she places the order personally through the phone, and but yeah, so that unfortunately that's how, my custom every 2 3 years. That's how it works out. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, no, absolutely. So let's have a look. What else? I'm just picking out things at random now that you've sent me. So
yeah.
this is organic soap nut Castile. Is that Castile soap?
Castile
Castile,
soap. Yeah, so
Castile soap.
olive is made from olive oil and soap nuts. So
Right.
if you recall a moment ago, I described how you can make your own soap nut liquid to wash your
Yeah.
clothes with. This is the lazy version, if you like. We've done it for you. So
Right.
you could,
Yeah.
1 teaspoon of that is extremely concentrated. 1 teaspoon of that into your laundry drawer, into the top part up here where
Yep.
the
I love the gadget that you've got there.
unfortunately it's not real. So yeah, put one
Well, you'd
teaspoon of
have
that in
very
the
small
top.
clothes,
Yeah,
very tiny little clothes in there. Ooh.
yeah. So one or two
Yes,
teaspoons of that liquid is the equivalent of a cupful of the homemade version. So
right.
some people don't have the time or can't be
No, of
bothered or
course.
the inclination to make it for themselves, and that saves the bother.
Yeah, and you can just keep that on your shelf, and
Yeah. So, but
you
the beauty of
yes,
that Castile soap, just in case you fancy trying this, yes, it's predominantly or primarily used for laundry, but as a olive oil soap base, you can also use it to wash your skin, your shower with, your hair if you had any. But yeah,
right, yeah.
definitely your skin,
Oh,
like
right.
a
Oh,
normal
okay.
shower, like a normal shower gel.
Yeah. So it's this multi-use of it,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
fantastic. Um, so really, what you need to do, I suppose, is to sell the same product with loads of different labels, and then,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
know, then
yeah,
you're not being honest, are you? Because
yeah.
effectively you're joining the other. But we've all got to make a living. Um, what else have we got in here? I've got a little tub here of. This was funny because I didn't order this and it came and it says man balm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Um, so Uh, basically, soap nuts, as I explained earlier, Richard,
Mm.
they've been used in Ayurvedic medicine for hundreds of years to treat skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, and dermatitis as well. So we formulated various products. Yeah, that started off actually as a beard balm, but
Oh
we
right,
realized, it could do a lot more than just keeping your beard nice and
moist
soft
and
and
soft. Yes,
moist,
that's it.
whatever. But it can be used as for cracked skin, for dry skin, for just as a daily moisturizer. So it's again using soap nuts as a base
Brilliant,
and
and it's
all
got cocoa
natural.
butter.
Yeah, the company's called Living Naturally, so I don't need to repeat every time. It's all natural,
It's all
clean
natural. Yes,
ingredients,
that's the whole.
stuff
That's the
that you can
ethos.
buy. Yeah, from Tesco.
Yeah,
You can go to your local Tesco Sainsbury's and buy the ingredients and make it yourself. But obviously, we do it for you.
yeah. You do it for, and you're probably sourcing more naturally than in a
Yeah, for sure.
big corporation.
The vast
Um,
majority of our ingredients are organic as well.
so we've got here rosemary and marshmallow soap nut shampoo, which of course I've used copious amounts of that, as you can imagine. But Julia can't wait to try that, my partner. But I said you've got to wait till I've spoken to Socrates. So again, similar sort of thing: soap
Yeah,
nuts and rosemary marshmallow. That sounds
yeah.
lovely, doesn't it?
That's one of our most popular products actually.
Is
Um,
it?
yeah, it's so popular. I could, my sister who works with me, she went away for just a month. She's just come back, and I had to make that twice when she was gone. I couldn't keep up with that particular product. Yeah, so it's good, but for both the rosemary marshmallow shampoo and the bergamot shampoo, we use, I think it's about 13 infused herbs. So it's nutritive as well.
Yeah.
We
No,
hope
that
it helps. That's the idea, isn't it?
absolutely. So now what else have we got in here? This is like Christmas. We've got soda crystals, in wash stain additive.
Yeah.
So presumably that's for if you stain something, you've got grass
Yeah,
stains or
yeah.
whatever.
So
Is that
soap
how that's used?
nuts, again, which are natural products, so they don't contain any bleaching agents, any foaming agents, any optical brighteners that you'll find in. I shouldn't really mention brands, but the big chemical
Yes.
laundry detergents. They do contain optical brighteners. If you turn the ingredients, the back and read the
Yeah.
ingredients, you see what they contain. But because soap nuts don't contain any of those extra additives, your whites may need a little brightening. So natural soda crystals will do the trick there. My son wears, well, he used to wear, now he's changed his club, but he used to wear white training kit for to give it a little soak with the grass stains and what have you. That will
Yeah.
help. Yeah,
So and better for the skin, of course, than all these brash chemicals.
yeah, that's the point
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think people are beginning to slowly wake up to the fact of how we are in. I mean, I did a video the other day about the electromagnetic frequencies
Yeah,
that we sit inside, and we don't know from the radiation from phones, the dirty electricity in the circuits around us,
yeah,
lights, computers, all these things, and of course your various masts and stuff. So you have that going on. You've got water, which is often polluted. You've got stuff going on in the sky. And then the products that you buy can irritate and what have you. So trying to live as naturally as possible and actually even know that there are these old traditional ways of doing things. It's we're not told that. We're just not told that. We go down this very narrow path of living in a way that's not necessarily terribly healthy. I've got a bar of soap here, I think, in here, because I remember ordering soap, lathering up. Is that what
that's the stain. I think that's the stain remover in there.
Oh, is it?
There's a stain remover, natural stain remover bar. And I think an essential oil. I think the soap, if I recall, your soap was put separate.
Oh yes,
sure.
Oh yes.
Maybe.
No, I've got the soap in a different too. I'm just going to open this up. So
you can see the packaging is all homespun.
Yeah,
as well.
But I love that. I love that. It's there's care and attention. Now that looks like a nice piece of fudge, but I'm not going to eat it because it's probably not. But it smells all right.
Yeah.
So this is
I
a
think
stain.
you left the sleeve inside. There's a red sleeve inside that cardboard.
Let's have a look.
Reddy orange kind of.
I've got this. Oh yes, I've got the reddy orange sleeve that didn't come out. There we go.
Crunch stuff.
So that would normally come like that. I just put the way I pulled it out. So there we go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so you just wet the stain, wet the bar, rub it on, massage it into the stain, and it will take out virtually every stain. I haven't seen it fail on any stains. Carpet stains, upholstery, obviously your clothes.
Oh really? What about with wine? People who drop red wine. Does all that?
Get asked that often. Yeah, definitely wine as well.
No, I was going to say. There we go. And a lot of these products, I notice you've got vegan on there, so that's another plus point for a number of people. And it says on there biodegradable as well. So you're ticking so many good boxes for people. I mean, it must have taken a bit of an effort to sort of get to that point where the products just hit the right.
Well, we started off with just the soap nuts, so then it was a natural progression to stay, biodegradable, natural, non-toxic, chemical-free, environmentally friendly. That's an essential oil, basic essential oil. You can get them anywhere. You don't have to get them from us, but you the bag that you put into the laundry with your soap nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. So the idea of the essential oil is to drop a few drops. And then you add a nice subtle fragrance to your clothes as it circulates again in the machine.
Yes.
Oh,
that's yes. Oh,
because
brilliant.
Soap nuts will leave your clothes smelling of absolutely nothing. But obviously, some people would like to have a nice scent on their clothes. Yes. So that's the one way to do it.
That's good. I've got two more objects to go through. Organic deodorant cream. It says on here. And what does that say? Right. Citrus and
ylang. Ylang. Citrus and ylang. Yeah, ylang. Yeah. So there should be a little.
Is that for your feet? Is that for your feet or?
No, for your armpits, but for your feet as well. Yeah. So it should have come with a little spatula. It's probably getting it fallen out in the box somewhere. Little wooden spatula.
I'm looking. It may have. I've had the stuff in and out the box a number of times, so it's probably.
So the idea is you just scrape maybe about a pea size, maybe even less than that, a pea size amount. Put it in your palm, massage it under the armpits, and it does the job. It really works. Brilliant. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Again, completely natural.
Yeah.
Ingredients.
And here it is. Here's the soap. We got.
Yeah, there you go. Handmade.
And handmade.
Well, everything is made by hand.
Everything is handmade. Except I mean, that's the thing. It's very. I mean, this is. I love this whole the ethos. I love the handmade. The creativeness. It is like now. It is that sort of sense, and I can see why it's important to you to have, your customers are important to you because you're making everything by hand. You don't want anyone to have anything that's a bit rubbish. And here is the soap ready to lather yourself up in the bath or what have you. And the soap is again because I heard that commercial soap it comes from the sewage that they buy a certain amount of. I know this sounds really bizarre, but Clive de Carle was telling me, and I have no reason to doubt him, that once there's a lot of it's been processed, so it's
Mhm.
not raw sewage, but once it's
Yeah.
gone through there's stuff that they can't use that is bought up by the soap industry, and it's clean to a degree,
Yeah.
but it's turned into soap. And God
I
knows
can
how they do it.
imagine maybe the case. I mean, certainly you can make soap from, there's a lot of grease and dirt. If they can make it into some kind of grease and oil,
Mm,
they will probably can use it into soap. I mean, people make soap out of pig fat or lard. So, but this is obviously made with olive oil amongst other oils. I don't know which. I can't remember which one you've got there. What one is it?
let's have a look. It says here bay laurel soap nut.
Okay, so yes, that is a soap bar, but we do shampoo bars as well, which contain other oils. Our soap bars are largely just olive oil, but we do have some like the Activate charcoal, which has other oils in it. But
Right.
and uniquely, we're the only company, as far as I know, in the whole of the world that make soap nut based soap bars and shampoo bars. So there are other soap bars out there, obviously, and shampoo bars, but the only people in the world, as far as I know, who use soap nut liquid in the soap making process. And again, they're made in small batches. So
Yeah.
I think we make about each batch is about 128 soap bars. So that is, that's been uniquely made, as in it's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
No.
personally packed that for you, and I do with most of our customers, unless we're
Yes.
extremely busy when I need help.
And so that, I mean, that, people have lost that personal touch with the big supermarkets, when stuff is made in big factories. And I know people may argue and say, yeah, but at the end of the day it's the cost, and does it really matter if it's got chemicals in it, if it does the job? And I think it does matter personally. We've been lulled into this, that it doesn't matter anymore, the interaction between people, and we seem to be going more and more about having stuff that is mass produced, that everything's the same. Anywhere you go in the world, it's all the same. You can buy the same hamburgers, drink the same coffee, no matter where you go.
Mm.
And that sort of bespoke, individual type of thing is disappearing. And that's why I admire what you're doing and other companies like you, because you're holding on to something that is very old and very primeval, people making stuff for other people, and
Yeah,
people sharing in the joy of it, and realizing that these natural products are healthy, they're good for you, and they're not going to make you ill over a long period from people who don't give a monkeys about you, that these
yeah,
big corporations do.
that's
So
right. Well, like you said
um,
earlier, Richard, we're being assaulted from in so many different directions, and most of it we can't control. The
mm,
air we breathe, the electromagnetic radiation all around us, the Wi-Fi, the antennas, but this is within our control. We can control what we put on our bodies. We can control what we put in our mouths. So, yeah, we're not saving the world, but we are contributing. I like to believe to a little bit of health or
but that's the thing. I mean,
avoidance.
the more companies that, or the more people that are inspired by people like yourself, who've got up and decided, I'm going to do something, make a business. I'm not just going to sell out to the big corporations and what have you. I think that, and the purpose of this video is to show that it can be done, even though we are in difficult times, that you can find natural products that are healthy for people. All right, they may not be as cheap or as
Yeah,
convenient round the corner as the supermarkets, but then you've got to ask yourself, what is it you're actually buying? And
yeah,
it's the same with food.
yeah,
The organic food or going to farm shops is going to cost you a bit more. For Julia and I, we usually go about 7 miles to get to the farm shop that we particularly like.
yeah.
But the food, and it's expensive, but we're putting it into our bodies,
Exactly.
and it's as healthy
And
as
you
we
can
can.
control that.
Yeah, and you
That's
can
the thing you
control
can
that.
control. Yeah,
And food is medicine. If it means I don't have to spend 8 hours in A&E, or I have a long-term diabetes, or other problems that you might get from eating highly processed food, and we know that it's full of all sorts of dubious things, and they're keeping the minimum amount of good stuff to a small amount. And this, again, when it comes to looking after your body, your clothes, and how you wash yourself, again, you're we know the air is polluted, the water's polluted. If you've got some natural cleaning products, it's got to help. And
Yeah, yeah,
what
definitely.
price do you put on your health in this day
Yeah,
and age? It's the number one, to keep out of the doctor's waiting room. Not that they seem to want you there, or hospitals, and they certainly don't seem to want you there. Um, the more you can do to look after yourself. So yeah, and I would love to see a register really of all the different independent companies, so more people can support people like you and help you thrive and keep going, and reduce these supermarkets down because they've just taken advantage of everybody.
yeah, definitely, Richard. And also you mentioned about our health there. I forgot to mention also um, uh, one of the side effects of having continuous your clothes continuously on your body. People with sensitive skin, and this is how we got into soap nuts, will suffer more with eczema. And I know this because my son. This is how we got into soap nuts. My son had very bad eczema on his elbows in particular and his knees when he was younger, and we realized that it was related to the detergent, because obviously there's greatest amount of contact on the elbows and the knees, with your clothes. So we tried alternative detergents and nothing seemed to help. But when we switched to the soap nuts for the first time, after maybe about 4 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks, his eczema, uh, it was massive difference. I'm not saying it cures eczema, but it made a difference to him. And
Yeah,
our
well,
website
if
is
you're
free of
not
charge.
adding to the problem,
Yeah, yeah,
if you're not
exactly.
adding to the problem, then it's got to be good. Do you
Yeah.
do things for dishes and that sort of thing?
The Castile can be used for dishes as well.
Oh
The
yeah,
bottle,
yeah,
yeah,
that
that can
one.
be used for that. That's what I mean. I forgot to mention that. It can be used for everything in the home. Um, its least popular use is actually as a shampoo because we sell separate shampoos as well. But
Yes,
it's used primarily as a laundry detergent, but also as a body wash, and then as a dishwashing liquid.
plates
So it can be used for
and all.
everything. And
Oh,
I think it's three ingredients. It's
yeah.
sorry, four ingredients: soap nut liquid, olive oil, salt, and yeah, that's it. Three ingredients. It's been a while since I made it because my colleague makes it the last 2 years. But yeah, it's
But that's the thing.
three ingredients.
Whereas
Three
if
ingredients: olive
yeah,
oil, salt,
and
and
if you
water.
look on a
Oh, sorry.
bottle of washing up liquid, there'll be tons of chemicals in there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for sure.
and of course the advice is always rinse your dishes after you've washed them with the detergent,
Yeah,
because that's probably not a good idea to let them dry with
no,
whatever washing up liquid you've got, again because it's something you're ingesting more
yeah,
chemicals all
that's
the
right.
time, and the poor body is trying to sort of detox from these
Yeah,
chemicals all the time, and the
yeah,
less it has to do that, the better your health. So
yeah,
these are the things. And as you say, it's natural, it's environmental, it's vegan, it's sustainable. It's hitting all the things that you would possibly want it to hit. And
yeah.
it's come from an independent company. Where are you based? Just as a matter of interest.
North London,
North,
Enfield.
North.
Yeah,
Yeah, lovely. So if people are interested and they want to purchase from you online,
yeah. Online probably the easiest and quickest way to find us. So the website is www.soapnuts with an S at the end, soapnuts.co.uk.
and I'll put the link in the description anyway, so people can go and find you. And of course, there are other outlets which will be doing similar products, but and I'm really about supporting independent companies, and if you can go directly to them, such as yourself, then so much the better, because I think this is what we need in the future. We need us to take back control and be more responsible for ourselves and our families and the companies that look after us. And
For
as you,
sure.
you say, customers come first. And I think that's very important. It's nice to
Yeah,
have people who are on your side for a change and
I
that
agree.
want to hear from you, even if you've got a problem.
Yeah, yeah,
They want
definitely.
to hear from you.
Oh, definitely, for sure. I want people to call me if they've got a problem, and I will do my best to make it right. I
Yeah, no, that's
don't.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, no doubt you. I mean, this was a sample of the stuff. You've probably got other products as well that you do.
I've got loads of products that didn't want to send you everything because you
Didn't want to know.
never
Well, I
asked me
quite
for it.
understand. So people
Yeah,
can check out your website and see what other exciting things you've got there.
yeah.
And I appreciate you sending them over. On my sister's station with the lovely Julia, the English couple, we're going to give these we'll give them a go because Julia's little boy runs around. He gets filthy all the time, so we'll be able to stick them in the wash and try out some of these things as well. But in the meantime, Socrates, thank you so much for your
Well, thank
time
you.
and for sending over your products and telling us about it. I hope that your business continues to thrive. Everything's done within you. You're not sort of, got a massive big factory, so it's
All done here.
all done here.
I've got a double garage at the garden.
Yeah,
That's where we make it. There's only
yeah.
four of us. Well, three of us and plus one social media lady. So there's only four of us. We're not big.
No, but this is what I mean. This is what excites me is that people are doing this. They're looking at alternatives of having businesses, how to do things, and I think this is what we need. And as I said earlier, there does feel, particularly when we went through the pandemic, that small independent businesses had it hard
Oh,
because
yeah.
everybody just went by default to the big companies. They made loads of money, but I'm sure that your business was suffering because of the limitations on how you could work and how many people could be in the same room and all of
And
that
also because the small independent organic stores that we sold to were closed. They were
were
forced to close.
closed.
And I would say probably about 70% of them have not reopened, or maybe 50%. They haven't
Oh,
reopened.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
So that's part of
customers
your
leaving.
market. So, a great section of your market has just disappeared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say like customers, shops. I'm talking about just shops now that would order once a month to
Hmm.
replenish their shelves. I'd say we've lost about 50 to 70% of those since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just haven't reopened them. And when I try and call them up, to find out what's going on, their numbers aren't even working anymore, or their
So they
emails
may have
just
just,
bounce back.
yeah,
Yeah,
they've gone to the wall or
gone
something.
forever. Yeah,
Which
it's
is a huge shame. Which is why it is so vital that we support independent businesses because otherwise, choice just is. You've only got the choice, and people think that the supermarkets, because they're big and the shelves have got loads of things, think that the choice is wide, but it
yeah.
isn't. I mean,
No, that's right.
if you go and buy apples, there are hundreds of varieties of
That's
apples.
really
But in a supermarket, you'll have the standard, Granny
yeah,
Smiths and Pink Lady, but there might only be five varieties instead of
yeah,
perhaps 90
yeah.
different varieties that are available.
That's right.
And if
Yeah,
choice is limited, and if we get narrower and narrower bands of what we can buy,
yeah,
that's wrong. That's so
yeah.
wrong.
Well, the incentive then is to produce that small band of apples or strawberries, whatever it is, and then the other varieties eventually die out or get phased out because there is no need for them. No one's buying them,
Exactly.
and,
And
that, and
and if
it's,
and
that's
if
the
you're
tragedy.
and if you're buying the copious amounts of detergent, which has chemicals in which say I don't know a percentage of the users get irritated, they might get dermatitis or eczema
Well, it
or
all ends
things
up in
like
the
that.
sewers as well, doesn't it? It affects the
And
wildlife, affects fish.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So whereas exactly what you're doing, it's all natural, it's all organic and vegan and healthy and all those things. So anyway, bleated on enough about all of that. Thank you very much, Socrates. Really appreciate it, your time and all of that for coming on the show. And good luck to you in the future. I hope that we can reconnect and you can tell me that you're now a millionaire and
ah,
everything's going really well.
yeah,
But I
thank you,
really
Richard.
appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward now that we've done the interview, I can actually go and try out some of the stuff. I didn't want to open all these things so they looked a bit messy from continual use, but
Yeah,
I'm very much looking forward to trying out all the soap nuts.
thank you,
So
Richard. And if
brilliant.
you have any feedback, negative or positive, let me know, please.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on the comments because it would be interesting to see what people say, of course, um, and. And as you say, if I get any feedback or questions, I'll get them over to you.
Thank
So
you.
there we are, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed that. Something a little bit different from the normal stuff, but I'll be back with more monologues and interviews, of course. So do like, subscribe, and all the usual things. Until next time, from Socrates and myself, thank you for watching. Goodbye.